Moin moin. If you would have asked me 1 year ago, can AI replace real teachers? I would confidently answer no. But today, I'm not that sure anymore. OpenAI recently released Study Mode, a new tool that's supposed to turn ChatGPT into a virtual tutor. It's available for everyone, even for free users, and I should say this thing looks quite impressive. Today I will show you how I use Study Mode for language learning. We will try a couple different areas, vocabulary, grammar, we will ask it to write some tests for us, and in the end I will show you how I use it right now while preparing for my upcoming B1 German language exam. Let's go. In one of the recent episodes of OpenAI podcast, Leah Belsky, the head of education in OpenAI, said ChatGPT at this point is one of the world's largest learning platforms. Education is one of the biggest use cases for ChatGPT right now. Millions of students around the world every day ask it some questions, ask to clarify some things they don't understand, ask to write some tests with them. So it's no surprise that OpenAI decided to focus on this educational aspect of ChatGPT a little bit more. First thing we need to understand about Study Mode, it's not a new model or something. It's not some groundbreaking new technology. It's just a tool, it's a set of instructions that force ChatGPT to act like a real teacher. Let's see how it worked before. If I have some educational question that I want to ask ChatGPT, then I will just send my question and right away I will get the answer, the full answer with whole information regarding this topic. So here, for example, I asked how to form regular verbs in present. Present is like present time in German language. And it gives me all steps, some tables, some cheat sheets, how I need to conjugate my verbs. And in the end, it even asks me if I want to have some exercise. It already works quite good, but it gives me all information I need regarding this topic right away. I used to be a teacher myself, and I know from my experience that just transferring information from teacher to a student doesn't really work. If you as a teacher is just a source of information, you are not better than Google search. There are a lot of different techniques how you can give this information to a student piece by piece, explaining every step. Unfortunately, the majority of teachers I know, they don't use these techniques. They have these long, boring lectures where they just drop the list of facts and hoping that students will remember something. What OpenAI have actually done, they collaborated with a lot of different teachers and they provided this list of techniques to ChatGPT and they forced ChatGPT to use these techniques whenever user activate the study mode and ask some question. Here is how it works. We need to turn on this study mode in this tools list. So we select study and learn. And now I will write exactly the same question that I asked before and you will see the difference. And here you can see that instead of giving me whole list of rules, it starts with a question. It tries to evaluate my knowledge. It asks me how much I already know about German verb conjugation. It gives me one rule, one simple verb, and then it gives me immediately a task. So it asks me what is stem for spielen, and answer will be spiel. And then I need to conjugate this verb for pronoun ich, means I. So I write ich spiele. It says yes, everything is correct, and then ask me next question. So now I need to conjugate this verb again, but for another pronoun. Du lernst. Again, it checks my answer, it gives me feedback, and in between it adds some refreshers or reminders or some additional bits of rules before I jump to next question. And next question is actually for a little bit different verb where I need to add some additional letter. Now I will try to make a mistake. I will write du arbeitest instead of correct form arbeitest. And let's see what it will answer me. It sees that I made a mistake, it provides correct result, it explains where was my mistake, it gives me some additional examples, and then it asks me a different question that is based on the same rule. So it asks me to conjugate this verb arbeiten once again, and the best thing that it doesn't use just one type of question. So for example, conjugate this word. It constantly changing type of exercises it asks me to do, so it can provide me some sentence with a blank spot that I need to fill, or it asks me to write sentence from scratch. So it's really good when you want to learn or practice some grammar topic. So now let's try to practice vocabulary. And I say I'm learning German and I want to practice my vocabulary for the topic traveling. Let's see how it works. Again, in the beginning, it asked me about my language level and about type of exercise I want to do today. So I will answer my language level is A2 and I want to practice using words in context. So number 2. And now it provides me a situation. I'm at the train station and I have a conversation with ticket agent. So it asks me, good day, how can I help you? And I will need to answer in German that I want to buy a ticket to Berlin. I made a typo and it immediately points to this mistake and we are continuing our conversation. So you can see it works quite well for learning grammar and practicing vocabulary. Right now I want to ask it to run some tests for me, not explaining me some topic, but actually check my knowledge on it. So I will ask you to make a short quiz for me to practice adjective endings. It's quite a tricky topic in German language. And now it created short test for me, 5 questions, and I need to pick the right answer. And with this test, we go one question at a time. So I need to provide answer for the first question. It will be A. And if my answer was wrong, like in this case, it doesn't give me correct answer immediately. It tries to guide me to this correct answer. So I would figure it out myself. If you have paid subscription for ChatGPT, you can select a different model. By default, we are using 4.0. This is the basic regular ChatGPT model. And we can switch to 0.3. This is model that is using reasoning, so it think a little bit before giving an answer. And let's see how it works with them. So you see it is thinking, and we can even see this kind of short version of it, chain of thoughts, and then it gives me answer. Usually this 0.3 model works a little bit better, but to be honest, I was using this study mode for several days and I didn't see this big of a difference. So even if you are using regular default model, it works quite well. So as you can see, it's very useful when you know what you actually want to learn or practice. But in language learning, it's very important to have a plan. You should have your ChatGPT sessions scheduled instead of just occasionally jump on it when you need something. So I'm preparing right now for my B1 German language exam. And I already know some things, but still have a big amount of blank spots when it comes to grammar. So here is what I've done. First of all, I needed to know what exact grammar topics I need to learn before going to this B1 exam. And I asked regular ChatGPT, not in study mode, to give me the list of grammatical topics persons should know to pass B1 German exam. And it gave me quite good description of all different things I need to know. Not the exact rules, not exercises, but just topics. And then here in the same conversation, I asked it to convert it to a list of things that start with how to. And here I have now list of more than 100 different topics I need to know before going to my B1 language exam. So I created some kind of checklist, and whenever I want to have this session with ChatGPT in study mode, I just take one topic I haven't covered yet and use it in ChatGPT exactly like it's written in my checklist. And here we go. I really like this study mode because previously we were able to force ChatGPT to act like a real teacher, but now it has this set of rules written by professionals, and it makes this learning process with ChatGPT much easier. I also recommend you to watch my video how I turned ChatGPT into a helpful assistant for intensive reading. In this video I needed to provide prompt myself, but I believe that this study mode will evolve and we will see more and more new features, and I will definitely tell you about it, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you later.